Yeah, he really came alive in that fourth quarter after a slow start, but he was really the Knicks' primary offense during that stretch.
He finished with 25 points, 10 rebounds, his 31st type of performance this season that ties him for the 5th most 25 and 10 games in Knicks history. But we still got some game to play. Cade Cunningham, there's something he likes about playing against New York, going to work there, flips it in. Pistons now take a 2-point lead, and then the Pistons up 1 here. Cunningham in the post again, gets to his spot and puts it in.
A little mouse in the house from Cade Cunningham. This dude knew how to get to his spot all night.
Once again, gets that mid-range jumper, gets that one to go. The Pistons extend their lead and get the win in this one. The Pistons are now 3-1 against the New York Knicks this season. And if you're sleeping on Cade Cunningham, his play will be the nightmare that wakes you up. Just look at these numbers that the Pistons are having plenty of confidence, right, heading into the playoffs. There's an 85% chance, DDJ, that we are going to see the Pistons and the Knicks meeting up in this first round. The New York Knicks are a great basketball team. We did not see their full complement of players last night, but the Pistons could give them some trouble here in the first round.
They can give them some more than trouble. They could knock them out in that first round. This is a nightmare scenario for this New York Knicks team to be facing this Detroit Pistons squad. First of all, we got to talk about Cade Cunningham as we just did. They're in a situation with as good as Brunson is, with as great as Karl Anthony Towns is, they will not have the best player on the court when they face Detroit Pistons. The best player on the court is going to be Cade Cunningham. We just saw what he did. 30 points average over the season, but that's not even including the 30-point blowout that they had. The last 3 games, he's averaged about 35 points. This dude knows how to get to his spot against those Knicks. It was mouse in the house all night. He knows how to slow that thing down, and then also he can get the ball to the bigs down low. He has just so many problems for that Knicks team defensively. Then on the other side, this Pistons squad is a top 10 defense since the All-Star break. They can cause a lot of trouble on that end as well.
We've talked about how they have the right infusion of young stars along with vets. It feels like they finally got all the pieces clicking at the right time, and they certainly play tough. J.B. Bickerstaff, of course, has playoff experience. I'm not sure I can go quite as far with you that they have the best player in this series. If Jalen Brunson is at his full complement, of course, he's been working his way back from injury here. For the Knicks to be able to put the Pistons away, what's going to come down to?
It's going to come down to Karl Anthony Towns to me. It's going to be about him being the guy that he was in that fourth quarter. He's averaging about 25 and 10 against this Pistons squad, but they are going to throw everybody at him. Duran is going to be at him. They're going to have Beef Stew coming after him.
Yep, and he loves that matchup.
Karl Anthony Towns is going to have to be a dominant force down low if they're going to have a shot, to beat this team.
Yeah, the Knicks face the Cavaliers tonight. The Cavaliers, Garland is probable. Mobley and Allen aren't even on the injury report, so we assume they're playing, but no Donovan Mitchell in this one as seeding continues to be jockeyed for around the association. What do you say? Let's go coast to coast. Check in on some of last night's action. We start with Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks. They had no issue against the shorthanded Pelicans. Milwaukee now won 6 straight games. Giannis had 28 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, and 0 turnovers. And then after the game, Giannis, he spoke about his recent success. Take a listen.
I feel like I'm having fun. That's all. I feel like I'm having fun. If I'm having fun, I'm competing, I'm in a good place. It doesn't matter how many minutes I play or what's in front of me. I just want to, have fun and compete.
So what does a having fun Giannis mean for the Bucks heading into the postseason?
This means that Giannis gives the Bucks a shot against anybody. I mean, he has had to pick up the pieces after this team does not have Dame Lillard, probably won't have him for at least the beginning of the playoffs. Giannis has taken over that responsibility, got everybody involved. The assists have been up, and he said, I'm going to put this team on my shoulder no matter who's missing.
And that's the biggest question mark. Will we see a fully healthy Milwaukee Bucks team? Next up, Tyrese Halliburton, the Pacers. They also won their 6th straight. They defeated a Cavaliers team that was without Mitchell, Mobley, and Darius Garland. But hey, you got to beat who's in front of you, right? With the win, they secured a home court in the first round. We're talking about Tyrese recording his 33rd 10-assist game this season. How much of a problem is this team going to be in the playoffs?
A serious problem, Malika. This team did go to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. This team has an identity on both sides of the basketball. Offensively, we know that they're one of the best offensive teams in the league. They're led by the head of the snake and Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam in the half-court set. He could get a bucket.
Well, the Pacers and Bucks, they're both playing their best basketball at the right time. They have an 85% chance again to run it back in the first round. Last year, the Pacers won their meeting in 6 games, but the Bucks have won 3 of their 4 meetings this season. So, Perk, in a 7-game series, who are you giving an edge to, the Bucks or the Pacers?
Without Dame Lillard, we don't know what's his status. I give the slight edge to the Indiana Pacers, but I will say this, right? In my eyes, Giannis is the second greatest power forward of all time behind Tim Duncan. Okay? In this been having, part that I've been seeing to Giannis' game, Malika, is that the assists, him being able to make guys around him better at a high rate. Every time I look up, Giannis is getting a triple-double. And so this is an opportunity for Giannis to go into this postseason and show the world that, hey, I'm Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm still one of the best, if not the best players in the world. So when I look at Giannis, a happy Giannis, I will say this. Although I get a slight edge to the Pacers, I would not be surprised if it goes 7 games. Or Giannis is the best player in that series, and the Bucks pull it off.
What it comes down to in a lot of ways is health for the Milwaukee Bucks. Unfortunately, we have not seen a healthy Milwaukee Bucks team in the playoffs for a couple of years now. Because what if I told you this? Since winning the championship, they have won only one playoff series. They do not want to have back-to-back-to-back first-round exits because larger conversations could start to bubble up for the Milwaukee Bucks. But again, I put nothing past Giannis Antetokounmpo. An 85% chance we're going to get a rematch of the Pacers and the Milwaukee Bucks in these playoffs. There's so much we need to get to in our show to get you set for the last weekend of the regular season. Big seeding implications out west and an even bigger statement from Anthony Edwards. You're going to want to hear what he's going to say about channeling, who he's channeling heading into the playoffs. Plus, with the West in chaos this weekend, could the Warriors' entire playoff fate come down to just 48 minutes on Sunday? And Luka and LeBron, they've clinched a playoff spot. But could one opponent stop them before they even get started? Perk, he's going to reveal which round one opponent the Lakers should want and who.
Told me to black out tonight, so I tried to do that. We be watching like I know people gonna love this. He sent me like MJ videos every day about like blacking out. And I think MJ said something like, why would I worry about a miss if I haven't took the shot yet?
Yes, we do love when that MJ Anthony Edwards connection comes up again. He plays the game with an energy that it's really infectious. It's unmatched. He notched his 8th 40-point game this season, set yet another Timberwolves record on this journey here. The Grizzlies, they've lost 9 of their last 14 games. The Wolves, they've won 15 of their last 19. So, Perk, are either of these teams, are you feeling like they can be legitimate threats in the Western Conference?
The Grizzlies are legitimate threats of what?
What about the Timberwolves?
Now, hell, okay, yeah, now the Timberwolves, let me say this. Do I have them as a legitimate threat as a team? Absolutely not. But I will say this. Anthony Edwards is the most dangerous player in the Western Conference. Right? Like, it's a lot of better teams, I feel like, that are in the West that are, like, will beat them in the 7-game series. But would we really be surprised if come playoff time that all we're talking about is Anthony Edwards? Because he has the capability of not only winning you a game in the playoff series, but actually winning you a series by himself because he's that damn good. He's the best two-way player in the game right now, hands down. He sets the tone defensively. He picks up 94 feet, and offensively, he just said it himself. I mean, you know, I'm not afraid of the moment. I'm not afraid of taking shots. So when I think about Anthony Edwards and I think about what he's capable of doing and upsetting some teams, he's the most dangerous player in the Western Conference this postseason.
Yeah, Minnesota is a wild card. I'll tell you who's not a wild card. It's that Memphis Grizzlies squad. I'm sorry to say, I hate to be the bearer of bad news to the folks in Memphis. Like, their calling card has been defense, right?
Yeah.
That has been the thing that has got to sustain them through the injuries. Whenever they have issues, it's the defense. Ever since since the All-Star break, essentially, they've been a middling defense in the league, and you just cannot excuse giving up 52 points in a quarter to that Minnesota Timberwolves squad. The Grizzlies have fallen off a cliff, especially with firing a coach in the middle of all this mess. And they're a play-in team at best, and they're going to be, unfortunately, a short series for whoever they face, whether that be OKC or Houston.
Not to mention they have a tough stretch down this final weekend of the regular season, because why I feel so good about the Timberwolves, when you look at the Grizzlies, they still have to play the Nuggets again. The Clippers and Warriors, they have to go through each other. When you look at the Timberwolves here, all they got to do is beat the Brooklyn Nets and beat the Utah Jazz. They're the only team that's in that jumble here that are facing 2 teams that have already been eliminated from postseason contention. As we look at the West, this is what a potential finish could look like when it comes to seeding. It's very fluid. Some of the possible scenarios are insane. I'm just going to be honest with you. We'll explain that in detail later in the show. But here is who has the inside track. As you can see, the Timberwolves, I just mentioned their schedule to avoid the play-in, and you can see the Golden State Warriors there as well. Speaking of the Warriors, they take on the Blazers tonight. That game is in Portland, then finish the season against the Clippers at home on Sunday. After that Grizzlies loss last night, the Dubs, they do control their own destiny for the 6th seed. If they win both games, they will take that spot and be out of the play-in tournament. They are, though, when you look at their average age, the oldest, one of the oldest teams in the league, David. So could being in the play-in tournament make or break their chances at a deep run when you consider that maybe resting some of those veterans is important?
Absolutely. For all intents and purposes, the Warriors play-in tournament starts tonight against Portland. If they win these next 2 games, they are guaranteed a week of rest, which these guys desperately need when it comes to that fourth quarter against that Spurs team, which, again, is an inexcusable loss. Yeah. Those guys looked a little bit tired going against them. But the other benefit is you're a 6th seed. You're playing a Lakers team that you have a good chance of beating. I would take the Warriors over that Lakers in that first round. It would be a tough series, but I would take them. But also, you find yourself on the opposite side of the bracket of OKC. You avoid them until you get into that conference finals, and you have winnable series up until then. These are must win games against Portland and the Clippers. This game against the Clippers at the end of this weekend, that is going to be a playoff level one and done type of game.
Essentially, Perk, 48 minutes against the Clippers, assuming they're able to get us a win against the Portland Trailblazers, and you don't want to overlook any team at this point in the season. Their play-in or playoff chances could come down to just those 48 minutes.
No, it could. And I agree with everything that David just said. And Malika, can I take a moment?
It's all yours.
Flowers? Thank you, Adam Silver. The play-in tournament has been the best thing that has happened to the NBA in the last 10 years. Right? Think about it. At these moments, especially when I was playing, this was a dead period. Like, no one cared. Guys were resting. Guys were planning trips to go to Cancun. Now, all of a sudden, we're here, and we still don't know what's going to happen in the Western Conference. Now we're here, and over the last month or so, guys have been playing playoff basketball. The Warriors have been in the playoffs since they got Jimmy Butler, to be honest with you. So it's nothing new. And when I think about the Warriors and I think about how they're playing, they only can control what they can control. That's getting the win against Portland.